It's a common belief in the red pill that men and women are attracted to different things, right? Their attraction switch functions differently. So men, according to the red pill, are attracted primarily to looks and a little bit personality, but women care about all of these things, right? And looks is a minority of the slice of the pie because they care about status, lifestyle, game, dominance, confidence, money, height, all of those things, right? And the hardcore black pill believes that women are even more lookist than men, so that their looks slice of the pie, looks and height, is a bigger percentage than what men care about. In the maroon pill, okay, like a mix between the red pill and the black pill, they would believe that, yeah, looks and height in terms of what women are attracted to are still the majority, but they do care about all of these things as well. It's just not as much as the red pill, the traditional red pill says they do. Now, I believe that these two pie charts are the most accurate, but I also believe that women are more lookist, if not just as lookist as men are. So how can these two beliefs coexist, right? Because clearly here, looks and height are a smaller slice of the pie than in the men's pie chart. And yet I believe that women are just as lookist, if not more lookist, than men. In this video, I'm going to explain how. I believe that the belief looks is a smaller percentage of what attracts women compared to what attracts men is compatible with the belief women are more lookist in choosing opposite sex partners than men are. Compared to what men are attracted to, looks are a smaller slice of the pie of what women are attracted to. But this doesn't necessarily mean women are less lookist than men are, and it certainly doesn't mean that looks don't matter in attracting women. You're watching Turbo Blackpill. If you like what you see so far, hit the like button down below as it helps the YouTube algorithm. Stay tuned. Example number one, this is like just an analogy, all right? Let's say there are two companies, Sub5 Inc. and Chad and Tyrone Holdings, all right? In Sub5 Inc., the boss's treatment of employees solely depends on looks, all right? So the boss will treat you worse if you look worse. The boss will treat you better if you look better. In Chad and Tyrone Holdings, the boss's treatment of employees depends on looks and job performance. So if you just look at these pie charts alone, you might think that Sub5 Inc. is the more lookist company. After all, looks is literally the only factor in how well the boss treats you. But this isn't necessarily true because, you see, one can't tell which boss is more lookist just by looking at the sizes of the slices in the pie charts, okay? Because we don't know, number one, what their look standards are, and number two, how poorly or how much better they actually treat you. Okay, so Sub5 Inc., the boss considers employees who are above 1 out of 10 attractive, all right? But the boss is just a little bit nicer to employees whom he finds attractive, okay? And so although attractiveness is the only reason that the boss is nicer to some employees than others, the amount that they are nicer is not very much, and they are nice to like 99% of employees. Whereas in Chad and Tyrone Holdings, you have to be 8+ to be attractive. And the boss treats attractive employees well and treats ugly employees terribly. Terribly, okay? Right, but 50% of the treatment is performance-based. Well, let's look at this. In Chad and Tyrone Holdings, okay, if you're 8 out of 10 looks and you have good job performance, then you'll be treated well, all right? But if you're less than 8 out of 10 looks and you have good job performance, he's going to be yelling at you, he's going to be firing you, he's going to be treating you pretty poorly. Same with greater than 8 out of 10 looks but poor job performance, right? And if you're ugly and you're bad at your job, then he's going to be like attacking you. So yeah, this is not a very good environment to be in, right? It's a pretty lookist environment. But compare this to Sub5 Inc. Although looks is the only factor, right? Job performance doesn't matter. He's still fairly nice to people who aren't that good looking, and his look standards are much lower. So yeah, just looking at the size of the pie chart doesn't tell you the whole story, right? Sub5 Inc., it's entirely looks-based, but it's less lookist. Chad and Tyrone Holdings, that company has very severe looks discrimination. Okay, the pie charts just tell you about the weighting of the criteria. They don't tell you, number one, how high women's look standards are, and number two, how women treat men who don't meet their standards. Okay, because you can be more lookist even if looks are not the majority of like your pie chart. Example 2. What it takes to get admitted to these two universities. Okay, TrueCell Community College versus Snarvard University. Okay, TrueCell Community College only cares about your grades and your test scores. And Snarvard cares about your grades, your test scores, activities, awards, rec letters, essays, interviews, all of these things. So, but if you just naively draw conclusions only based on these pie charts, you might think, oh, Snarvard must care less about your grades than TrueCell Community College does, right? But that's not the case. Snarvard, represents Harvard, okay? So when people say, oh, TrueCell cares about grades more than Snarvard does, bro, Snarvard applicants don't have to worry about their grades as much as TrueCell applicants do, bro. It's just not a valid conclusion. Because if you look at what it takes to get admitted into TrueCell Community College, it's not very much. The standards are quite low, but Snarvard, the standards are very high. So if you break it down, you'll see that actually the grades portion of what it takes to get admitted to Snarvard is bigger than the grades portion of what it takes to be admitted into TrueCell. So Snarvard cares more about your grades, and it takes better grades to get into Snarvard than TrueCell. Right? So yeah, looking at these pie charts doesn't tell you the whole story. TrueCell only cares about your grades, but you don't need very much grades to get in. Okay, Snarvard grades are a minority of the pie, but you need to bring a lot to the table when it comes to your grades and your test scores. All right, and this also applies to this thing. What women want in short-term versus in long-term relationships. I saw a study one time. I can't find it now. But it said that, yeah, for short-term and casual encounters, women do mostly care about looks and height and genetic factors. But the study said for long-term relationships, looks matters very little. It's only like 20%. Yeah, if you just look at this, you go like, whoa. Naively, one might conclude that for a long-term relationship, looks don't really matter that much. You can be a 2 out of 10, you can be 5'2", and you can still get LTR. But yeah, like we just went over in this video, you can't judge it just based on these pie charts, right? Because people who judge it just based on the pie charts naively and incorrectly assume that the heights of the bars are the exact same, right? But the reality could be different. What if it's like this? What if women care just as much about looks in long-term relationships as they do in short-term encounters, but they just want other things on top of looks, right? The bar could be higher for LTR, meaning the looks requirements might actually just be the same. So yeah, that's it for the video. I hope I explained well why looking just at the pie charts, like what % of attraction is looks, is not sufficient to determine how much looks actually matter. If you enjoyed this video and would like to watch more Blackpill content just like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, leave a like, leave a comment. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.